is what you have encountered in our previous encounters. And the right honourable of the opposition, I would like to encourage you to always encourage the ministers to be available, because where you are not, they'll be called upon to speak in your name and in your aspirations as the team leader. It's very important as alternate spokespersons of the opposition. They have these issues on their fingertips because they are not difficult to pick. But like I said, I will be very brief and take through the team these issues. They know they have encountered them in the committees, and the challenges they are in, some of them they have brought to the attention of the House, and therefore we can share them and have a better understanding of where they take us. Principally, understanding the program-based approach. Prior to that, I did indicate that the program-based approach is an NDP3 program project. Historically, the country launched Vision 2040, and in trying to arrive at Vision 2040 and whatever they enshrined in it, it was broken down into programs. NDP to mean National Development Program. There was NDP 1, there was NDP 2, and now 3. Each of these programs, from NDP 1 to NDP 3 now, has a particular time period within which it is supposed to achieve desired development goals for the country. It is the preference of the NRM government, like they did, to undertake development programs. Ordinarily, such programs have a span of 5 years within which to be implemented and evaluated. And from the documents we have shared a priori, NDP 1 and 2 were supposed to provide the backbone or the foundation upon which other development programs will be anchored. And from what we shared and going to share today, the essence of NDP 1 and 2 was essentially to provide a foundation upon which development for the next probably 30 years will be anchored. It had an element of developing infrastructure. It had a component of identifying major growth centers and growth poles. For every economy you'll find world over, they have what they call anchor sectors or growth poles. So across the 5-year period from NDP 1, we're supposed to identify key sectors for every region, for every district, key projects, develop infrastructure, train manpower that will serve in these key sectors, and then embark on implementation. So when NDP 3 was evolved, the essence was that it is going to feed into what was achieved in NDP 1, and therefore they developed a theme, namely transformation of Uganda society from peasant to modern. I would like to ask you to just move forward. Those are I'm talking about entity that developed. Move further, just foundation there on the side. Next page, yeah, that's right, yeah. Yeah. The contents, and the NPA, the National Planning Authority, developed the NDP 3 and these programs, the 20 programs, as a key government anchor of planning. And that's what they presented. Their vision is a transformed Uganda society from a peasant to a modern and prosperous country within 30 years. I don't know how many we have covered so far. The vision is a competitive middle-income country by 2020. I don't know which year we are in. and an upper middle income country with per capita income of US dollars 9,500 by 2040. We're supposed to be middle income by 2020. When we failed, what did we do? We made a declaration that we actually are. So we called a press conference and said, you know what? We are now middle income. And then people were asking, what does that mean? What do you mean exactly that we are middle income? But here we have announced we are middle income. So don't worry, we are middle income now that is 2024. On paper we are. And make sure that by 2040 you have per capita of 9,500. If you don't have, then you are sinner. But we must be there by that time. How to get there? That's what we are going to be doing. We must harness opportunities in agriculture, in tourism, in minerals, gas, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to concurrently present this while referring to the question you're answering. So if you're going to harness opportunities in agriculture, tourism, minerals, oil and gas, industrialization, knowledge and ICT, geographical position, and so on, question is, what is your growth goal? So what are you focusing on? You are focusing on everything and nothing. So if you look at the history of nations that have overcome poverty, they anchor their plan on a few major sectors. You cannot be on everything. You can't be everywhere. Probably some of you have gone to school of economics, have read the history of the Asian tigers. Countries like Singapore focused on human resource. Thailand, human resource. In Uganda, we're on everything. We're on oil and gas, we're on industrialization, we're on tourism, we're on agriculture. We are now parish model. So we are moving. How to get there? Strengthening fundamentals, infrastructure, human capital, science and technology, engineering and innovations, security and defense. Remember, in NDP 1 and 2, we're supposed to have accomplished infrastructure and human capital, including major developments in science and technology to anchor NDP 3. In Parliament every day, matters of national importance. Right, Honourable Speaker, the bridge in our village has been swept away. Right, Honourable Speaker, our villages cannot connect. But we have spent a cool 30 years investing in infrastructure. So where is the infrastructure? Proceed. So NDP 3, like I said in my preamble, is different from 1 and 2 because 1 and 2 focused on micro level to create the foundation for development. We were doing roads, we were doing schools, we were investing in health if we need it, and took that. Now we are there in NDP 3. And the purpose for 3 is to improve household income. That's why we have the parish model, I'm told. We're going to create regional balancing by creating growth corridors. The country has been divided into what they call growth corridors. And for each of those corridors, there are particular projects targeted. That's the essence. Then you have the parish model. Then you have to address the silo approach, using probability approach. The silo model is to preserve the level of waste among farmers, so that value addition can be undertaken. I have that map from NPA that indicates the growth corridors. Right Honourable Locke, these documents will be circulated to the team so that each minister can understand the path of their particular ministries that government planned under this NDP 3 and the program-based approach. I want to go through that very fast that I can go on the programs. Move. A bit up. Why the program approach? All these are extracts from NPA because they are the incubators of this. They're the midwives of this program. Why they wanted this? They want to increase growth, better linkage of resources to results, increasing sequencing of programs, that the programs are disjointed, enhance synergies across sectors, increase coordination and harmonization. Because remember, we are moving away from sector-based approach to program-based approach. And the 20 programs were identified. Now, in Parliament 3 weeks ago, I heard the Right Honourable Speaker instruct the chairperson for rules to study the confusion that members were reporting. That whereas government is running a program-based approach, the committees are discussing the sectors. You heard that? And then I don't know what the Honourable Abadde Akulira is going to do under the Rules Committee. For example, I know for a fact that why MPs are discussing sectors, because that's what the PFMA says. And we have not amended the PFMA. So government moved the program-based approach, but forgot to amend the key legislation, which is the Public Finance Management Act. So I'm waiting for the Tutu's report to see whether we have a law I have not read in as far as budget and management of finances is concerned. So the confusion remains. Now we are there because we are moving away from sectors to programs. But I have interacted with so many ministers and technocrats. They equally do not understand this entire program-based thing. They don't know. They said, for us, we receive the money, we know where to put it. You can take out your program thing. I was interacting with Julius earlier to find out whether the program-based approach was given an evaluation framework. You see, one of the key anchors of any program is how that program is evaluated for performance. Ever since the program-based approach was started, there is no evaluation framework for it. So there is no basis to evaluate performance. Whether it has worked or not is guesswork. Probably Julius will share with you his experience with them. But if you have a program that has no evaluation framework, then it's not a program. And I'm advised they haven't worked on it where you're just moving. In other words, you are driving a vehicle without destination. You're just driving somehow. When the fuel runs out, you stop. That's where we are, and that's how it's working. Proceed down. Down, down, down. I want to go to the programs. Yeah. Now the programs, the 20 programs, as you know them. The first one is agro-industrialization. And the target for this program, because of the high proportional growth rate, the bulk of our people are dependent on agriculture. So government is targeting the big percentage of our population that is in agriculture by undertaking agro-industrialization. And the approach is area-based community planning and market-focused value chain development. In your constituencies, you'll share with us what you see, whether these things are there, but that is the government approach in this area. And under this area, this approach, agro-industrialization, you can see the targets and the areas of focus. The goal is to increase commercialization and the competitiveness of agricultural production and agro-processing. That is the goal of that program, agro-industrialization, that accommodates almost over 70% of our people. So in your sub-counties and districts, how many agro-based industries are evolving? Okay, in PPO, how many over the last 5 years have you seen emerging in your community? If they're not there, then you are a laggard in this area. Maybe you're a sinner, you cannot see them. So that is the target of government. Increase commercialization and competitiveness of agricultural production and agro-processing. We are handling the budget right now in the Parliament. Do you see the budget, those who sit on the agricultural committee, do you see the budget of government focused on achieving that? So if you go to the budget, what do you see? Are those issues there? Now we are doing rationalization. See the priority crops, coffee, tea, fish, beef, dairy and maize, cotton, etc. Those are the targets. Tomorrow, we are rationalizing UCDA. Yesterday, I saw a circular. I don't know who shared it with me. I think it was a blind copy shared with me. The coffee farmers are up in, the tea farmers. Is that what you should hear? Taken leave. I know his area is active with tea. The tea farmers are up in arms. Their products are rotting in the villages. And they petitioned Parliament to help. But just go back a bit on the other page, where they have products. Those are the key target products. So in the budget for agriculture, look out how much has been targeted for those key priority crops. You can tell. And you should be questioning the wisdom of this program if you don't see money is voted on those particular target products. In other words, you are dealing with a paper tiger. Beautiful on paper, nothing on the ground. Those are the targets. Proceed. So the objectives are well listed there. Want to see an improved post-harvest handling and storage of products. So how many storage facilities are targeted in your area? In the agricultural budget, question whether there is money voted for storage facilities and cool rooms or cold rooms in your district. Look at that. We are targeting access to agricultural financing. Look at the budget. If you go to UDB, at what rate do farmers borrow? Because the president said, you big farmers and producers go to UDB, the money is there. But what is the rate? In an economy where inflation is 8% and the bank rate is 10%, and the commercial bank rate is, development rate is 13%, probably I went to the wrong school of economics. You will collapse if you borrow at that rate. Definitely you collapse if you did. Try that. That's why no sane person can borrow from Uganda to go farming. Unless you are bewitched or you have a problem. You cannot. You cannot. It's improbable. Proceed down. So the results targeted are there. We want to increase exports. We want to reduce the total value of imported cereals in this country. We want to increase agricultural sector growth by 3.8%. We want to increase labor productivity in the agro-industrial area, value chain. We want to create more jobs. I told you colleagues some time back that for every government minister that appears for a budget, it's important for the opposition to ask them, how many jobs are they going to create in a financial year? That's why I was shocked that for the last, I think, 4 years, government froze recruitment. But the economy is growing at an incremental rate. But they froze job creation. In other countries, if you can't create jobs, you are running a collapsed economy. One of the measures of growth is the number of jobs you have created per year. If you're not creating jobs, you collapsed. Because every year we span out over 1 million younger people out of college. So where are the jobs? So are these people projecting budgets that have jobs? Proceed. Sector 2 is mineral development. And we are addressing limited mineral exploitation and value addition so that we can reduce the use of rudimentary tools. Honorable Nsamba is well versed with how rudimentary. We visited the Kasanda Mineral District and we found their younger people dehumanized. We asked them, Mukolachi, what are you doing here? They said, you wake up and come here and somehow we don't know what will happen. So they are in a huge casino, in a Kasanda, gambling their lives away and not aware of what the future will bring. So this program, which is mineral development, is supposed to reduce the use of rudimentary tools, inadequate human and institutional capacity, inadequate support infrastructure in the area, into investment industries that utilize available minerals. But we all know that the mineral sector is a mafia sector. So how do you have this as a program? Yet, practically, you have crippled the sector. We have asked questions about, for example, the gold mining in Kasanda, in Uweju, in Mubende, in Karamoja, and other places. But those are our targets. Paper tiger, very beautiful. Our target, our goal is to increase commercialization and competitiveness of agricultural production. No. I think that was mixed up. Commercialization of minerals, because they are not used as competitively, supposed to substitute agriculture with mineral production and processing. Project areas are iron ore. We have iron ore in Kabale area. We visit those minerals, mining areas sometime. Gold, copper, phosphates, and others. But we also here in Karamoja, do you have a colleague from Karamoja here? Truckfuls of marble are fed from Karamoja every day. Where they go and who benefits? The God dissolve the land, So we're there, gambling our lives away. Proceed. That's mineral development for you. And in that, the objectives are increase adoption and use of appropriate and affordable technology along the value chain. By the time the technology comes, there will be no more gold in the Kasanda. Because the way they are mining it, for example, they are real thugs. There are no roads, but they wake up every day to go and really descend on whatever is there. So are you going to put there the roads and the technology, expand mineral-based processing and marketing? We all know where this sector is going. Proceed. But that's our target. The program results are there, where we listed. We want to reduce the value of imported iron ore and steel. We want to reduce the volume and the value of imported inorganic fertilizers. For iron ore, for example, in Chigezi area, the reports we have suggest that if we invest in that iron ore, it can last for over 50 years unexhausted. Supply the entirety of Africa and even outside Africa. But we have not invested there in the iron ore in that area. Part of the problem, I think, it has to do with the energy that is needed to smelt the iron ore, the raw stuff. But it's high value. Our government, not this government, should target that. You don't have to go into Mioga, Wakina, Parish mode when you have that. You will transform entire communities with an investment in that area. The rest increase volume and the value of refined gold exports. We know who is exporting gold and not paying taxes. Increase copper, trade skilled manpower. Increase the value of investment in exploration. I'll tell you something. The Minister of Energy has cadastral maps that situate every mineral in this country. But they're holding on it like a nuclear button. You cannot go there and ask for it and they give it to you. Because only a few people can see it and they're deliberate. That's why you cannot talk about increasing investment in exploration. Exploration for a few, not for everyone, to competitively invest. So, colleagues on these sectors, keep a watch. And we have serious questions to ask with this information in tow. Let's get down fast. The third sector, or the third program, is tourism development. Now we are told that agriculture is our growth pole. Then you wake up, then you are told, if you don't go to tourism, you are finished. So where are we? Tourism is one of our key programs. And we want to exploit our tourism potential so that we can increase Uganda's attractiveness as a preferred tourism destination. We all know what chases our tourists. The kind of things that we don't want to talk about. How many tourists are going to return when from Entebbe, their first encounter is a mamba and all manner of armed men and women chasing nothing but intimidating citizens? So tourism is a major sector that we target. We want to brand Uganda. You want to brand Uganda, but what are you doing with the citizens? You have inadequate tourism infrastructure, but what are your priorities? You have undeveloped and narrow product range. You have inadequate and unskilled manpower. When you are investing in LDUs, not in that kind of manpower. Proceed down. The objectives are enlisted: increasing the stock and quality of tourism infrastructure, developing a pool of skilled personnel along the tourism value chain. The target, of course, is marketing Uganda and increasing tourism attraction to Uganda. Move faster. Program areas: revenue enhancement in terms of dollars from $1.6 billion to $3 billion. Increase the contribution of tourism total employment from 6% to 10%. Increase inbound tourism revenue to that. Increase the number of international tourist arrivals to that. I was in Nairobi a week ago, and at the airport, the number of tourists entering Kenya on a single day make you rethink the nature of Uganda we are. You know? And there's a reason why they are choosing Kenya and not Uganda. Very vivid reasons. You don't have to have a PhD in tourism to know that. So, however flowery your targets are, but working differently and negative on the ground, you can't have those targets. Proceed down. The fourth program is natural resources, climate change, environment, land, and water management. Our goal is to reduce environmental degradation, reduce effects of climate change, and improve utilization of natural resources for sustainable economic growth and livelihood. So when you read that whole sentence, you ask your question: what do we believe in? Are we really targeting reducing environmental degradation? Start with the simple things. We have visited and checked on the Central Forest Reserve. It's depleted. Those of us across Ruera, we're increasing rice growing in Ruera. The other day, colleagues from Acholi were decrying the depletion of, what's the forest? Is it Zoka forest? Zoka forest. Yeah. All these are well known. So we are preaching water and then drinking wine. Question is, are these targets plausible? Are they achievable? Are they within attainable range in view of our practical actions? The question and answer is beyond you. Proceed. The programs we target, or the objectives are: we want to increase forest cover, to plant more trees, to protect the wetlands, restore the bare hills and protect mountainous areas and rangelands, and effectively reduce climate change, vulnerability, and carbon footprint. We all know what's going on in our communities. If you give the Honorable Kaya an hour to speak about this, you'll know that we are bewitched and deluded as far as this is concerned. The program is good. The actions are different and various. So this is a kind of program you want to look at and say, it's a good program, it is doable in view of how we purpose our resources, or you work differently. If you want to protect natural resources, what would be your target? How do you repurpose the resources to achieve that goal? Move down. I want to move to 5 very fast. Move. 5 is human capital development. We are addressing raw labor productivity, raw human development, and fewer graduates due to weak foundation of human capital, lack of appropriate knowledge and skills, weak talent nurturing, high youth unemployment. Now, human capital development is one of our biggest problems. I talked to you about what the Asian Tigers did in investing in their peoples. We are mimicking them, but we are doing it in a haphazard manner. You remember the debate in Parliament at the introduction of the new O-level curriculum and how we were dismissed as being obstructist and obstructive. Now we are faced with a crisis with our curriculum because we are going to change the way human capital is trained, is deployed, and motivated. This must begin from the basics. Our goal is to improve labor productivity for increased competitiveness and better quality of life for all. That's sloganeering. We are working differently. Probably we're not able to go and copy. When we copy programs, we don't copy the way they're implemented. But on paper, they look beautiful. You want to reduce high youth unemployment. What do? Do you invest in yoga if you want to reduce high-level youth unemployment? Does that work? Do you invest in the parish model so that people go and they queue the money and they thank their leaders for a vote well taken? Want to reduce poor population health and safety? The question of the day for those who are in these areas, these sectors, go and demand for a human resource plan for the country. Do we have one? Does Uganda have an HR plan and target? If you filter this. So how many doctors, specialized and general, do you want to train over the next 5 years? The debate last year in Parliament was failure of interns to be placed. And the country only needed a few billions to place them. So do we have an HR target of engineers, of teachers, of all manner of skills, so that we plan for it and then put their resources to have them? That's what the Asian Tigers did. They had a strict HR target and voted the monies to achieving it over a period of time targeted. That's our plan. That's our goal. Question what we are doing where you meet in the sectoral meetings. Proceed. We have talked about the objectives, to produce appropriate, knowledgeable, skilled, and ethical labor force with strong emphasis on science and technology. Whether we're doing that, heavens can tell. Proceed down. One of the things we have seen up, just a bit, is promote to improve population health, safety, and management. You cannot claim to be improving population health. People health committee, go and question if that is part of your target in human capital development. How many health workers are targeted for recruitment this financial, next financial? If we are committed in achieving that, those are the key questions you ask. So you have this program objective in human capital development. Are you putting resources in training key skills and ensuring that those that are trained are deployed? You cannot believe that in Uganda where you have that problem, you have undeployed doctors looking for green pastures because they're not deployed. But that's our goal. Down, down. 6 is public sector transformation. We are targeting to address poor performance, low accountability for results, and unsatisfactory work ethic, in the public sector. And the causes are poor accountability systems and undue focus on processes rather than results. Now that's very important. Look at 01. The autonomy of the opposition, you saw a circular from the chairperson of Rules and Discipline to all of us, asking us to make suggestions on amendments in the rules. If you look at the issue of poor accountability systems and undue focus on processes rather than results, we have an issue there as the opposition because we had accountability committees. I will come and suggest to you that we go and cause an amendment to introduce another committee of value for money. Those of you who have been on these committees of accountability know the problem. Over the span of the year, we can only follow accountability, but nobody follows value for money. And accountability is one thing on paper. The Auditor General approves, yes, money was received, money was well spent, tick. That's it. Nobody has gone to check what was that money utilized for. Is there on the ground? Look, we need a multi-purpose committee but targeting value for money. A lot of the noise about abuse of funds because we don't follow up. Somebody picks $1 billion shillings and puts up a 2-room toilet, and then is given a clear bill of health by the Auditor General. So on paper, they don't have any questions. The opinion by the Auditor General is a clean bill of health, unqualified. So you say, okay, the audits are okay. So there's some work for us there as part of public sector transformation. So in a nutshell, the programs look good and smart, but we're talking about their plausibility in delivering a sound system that works for everyone. Move down. Now, if you look at the program objectives, streamline government structures and institutions for efficient and effective service delivery. Now, the ongoing rationalization is anchored on that belief that government structure needs to be streamlined. And we are seeing so many entities being aligned to be taken back to their mother ministries. The big question is, are the ministries themselves functional? Give an example. We are taking back NFA to the Ministry of Water and Environment. But the report from the ministry, is the ministry functional? So you are taking you are taking a dead agency to a dead ministry. So what is the expectation? A stench of 2 dead bodies. So you have these beautiful paper tigers that will yield nothing. So we want to deepen decentralization and citizen participation in local development. Then you think about the famous Narima motion. So how do you deepen decentralization when contracts are issued by State House on that famous blue paper? And you're saying you want to deepen decentralization? Because in deepening it, you want to create greater autonomy for local governments, that they can determine their destiny. But you are issuing contracts in the corridor of State House. That's why we are. Proceed down. Let's go to the next program. The next program is community mobilization and mindset change. And our goal is to empower families, communities, and citizens to embrace national values and actively participate in sustainable development. And the why? Because we want to reduce the independence syndrome, a high selfish tendency leading to corruption, short-sightedness, may have glasses, I'm not short-sighted anymore, a low sense of nationalism and patriotism, a weak community development function, inability to nurture innovations. Now that sounds more rhetoric and sloganeering. So how do we empower families and communities when you have even failed to organize AOC elections? Small things that empower communities, like determining their leaders. First things first. You want to empower communities, but you are disempowering them by disabling their ability to choose who leads them at the basic village level. But anyway, that is the program. If you think it's doable and probable, the jury is out there for you to make the choice. Get down. And our objectives there is strengthen institutional capacity of central, local governments, non-state actors for effective mobilization of communities. But non-state actors are the civil society groups that are being hunted and haunted. Are we together? If you ask, Julius will tell you what now it means to survive as an NGO. You know? But that's our target. When you ask Yenotafile, the Minister of Internal Affairs will tell you they must know there is a government. They are non-state actors. They must comply. Comply to what? To illegality? But that's why we are. Those are the targets, those are the objectives. Reduce negative cultural practices and attitudes. But of course, to do that, you must reduce the prevalence of a negative government and government actions. But go down. Those are the program results targeted in that program. They are telling us that we shall then increase media coverage of national programs. When they say national programs, media coverage increase. I think they're targeting the presidency being covered for free by all media houses by decree. Nothing more. Because media houses are not breathing. They have a knee on their necks. They're not free to communicate. Haven't you heard the opposition being thrown out of media houses by decree? By an RDC, an old man of inconsequential state actors. Let's go down. Then the other program is sustainable development of petroleum resources. We all know our goal is to attain equitable value from petroleum resources and inspire economic development in a timely and sustainable manner. Before even the first drop of oil is out,